So, what's the big story on the right wing? What is it? What's currently the ha-ha? We finally got something. Oh, thank God. Something that will scare Republicans into voting Republican again more than they would just not vote because they don't trust elections. And something that will, it's a gotcha where we can go after Kamala and we can go after Joe Biden. And it's just going to prove that we were always right about it. And this is proof that they're doing the socialist thingamadodge or whatever. Anyway, there's this crazy talking point right now, and it has to do with this leaked video, which is not leaked at all. These guys shot it and gave it out. It's leaked like Project Veritas videos are leaked. And it's like, hey, humanoid, should dich sehen. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I think so. I don't get to practice my German very often. Auf Wiedersehen. This is, we'll see. This is, the title should tell you something. Bombshell video reveals Biden administration transporting illegal immigrants. They're transporting them. Oh my God. Who needs a coyote? Joe will put you in an electric truck and drive you across the border all by himself. What in the heavens? What could it possibly? It couldn't be that these are the people who have been vetted and have sponsorship either by family members or NGOs to apply for citizenship based on an asylum claim. And some of the flights happen during the day, others happen at night. A lot of the ones that happen at night are so that nutcase right-wingers don't follow these poor people and threaten their lives because they think they're going to all vote. We'll get to that in a moment. I don't know what's going to be said in this video. I have some general ideas what I think will probably be said. We'll see. We'll find out. I'm very excited. So this is from Fox News, Fox Business. And who else is on there? Florida Rep. Brian Mast and Texas Rep. Pete Sessions react to supply chain crisis, the southern border issues, and predict whether former President Trump will run in 2024. So, wait, so the gotcha video isn't enough? I don't think Steve Juicy is going to be there. Peter Juicy. Quit. Oh, God. Yeah, there's 407 people already in the chat. Join in, spread the show, share it. Here we go. Let's go. This is starting away, and it's going to be fun. Here we go.
Joining us, Congressman Pete Sessions from House Financial Services, along with Congressman Brian Mast from House Transportation and Infrastructure. Congressman,
why are you saluting someone on Fox Business?
Your reaction to what you just heard. Americans.
It's good to be here on Good Morning America. The America's in the title, so I call it that. Fox Business. I'm not saluting the Fox. I'm saluting what the Fox say. Jesus.
More are asking who's in charge.
Joe Biden is president of the United States. He has a team of advisors around him. They make decisions. They give him the best piece of information. Some of them differ on what they think the path should be forward, and then he makes the decision. And Kamala Harris gets assigned certain projects that she gets to oversee because that's part of how a president and vice president has traditionally worked in a White House. I don't know, never mind.
Well, who's in charge are the Democrats, and who's in charge of the
Well, that's true.
Democrats is actually a philosophy much like Jimmy Carter, but more.
Oh, you mean to like build homes for the poor and provide for people? And you mean the Jimmy Carter we all now know and love? Oh, no. You mean the Jimmy Carter that created twice as many jobs while he was president than Trump did with fewer people in the country? You mean that Jimmy Carter? You mean that decent, good Christian man, Jimmy Carter? That guy? The guy who supported Israel on all technical measures more than Trump did, which supposedly you guys give a shit about?
Akin to socialism moving further left. They are all.
How do you move further left than social? I guess it's just communism, right? This straight up like, there's got to be something further off. Anarcho-syndicalist, I can't even fucking say it. Dennis, how do you say it? We're an anarcho-syndicalist commune.
Socialist based. They're trying to up each.
Hold on. Wait a second, dum-dum. So it's socialists moving further left to their socialist base.
Left. They are all socialist based. They're trying to up each other, whether you're in California or New York. Everybody wants to one up each other on how.
I see. It's a big socialism leg wrestle. And how's Biden do that? By reshoring factories. You know, private companies. That never mind.
Or left, they can take their policies. So the policies that we have, exactly like the model of Jimmy Carter that started high inflation, poor.
High inflation in the late 70s was caused by oil prices, which had to do with OPEC intentionally choking the United States. And it has nothing to do with what's going on right now. Like, literally, if there's an example that you know, fuck all about monetary policy and America's place in the world's economic structure, it's that. It's 1970 when washing machines were the most complicated thing in your house, television sets, and Atari 2600. Keep talking, dummy. Oh, it didn't work? What's happening?
Understanding of affairs of international, not understanding our military, and misusing America's good name.
Oh, yes, we're taking America's name in vain. Sometimes I'll stub my toe and go, United States! And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I have to go over and rub my penis on a flag like our Lord and Savior Donald Trump.
You know, to the congressman's point, you know, Congressman Mast, Americans are seeing the footage coming in, right? And again, they're saying, who's in charge? Let's listen to this leaked footage from August 2021. Federal contractors that...
The leaked footage. No, this is not leaked footage. This footage is shot and put out. Also, keep your eye on his body cam footage, and we're putting it up here. Like, okay, what's the contractor there? It's a DHS contractor, I think. What are you there for? You're there to watch these people get off the thing and make sure nobody makes a break for it and yada yada. We'll get to why they won't in a minute, more than likely, if it's the same footage I'm talking about. Well, we'll just watch it. Well, let's see if you think the person who shot this, and while they were shooting it, and the narrative that they were shooting is apolitical, just, hey man, I'm just telling it like it is.
Airport in Westchester where illegals are being flown in. Watch this.
Well, no, you don't know that for sure. You know, migrants are being flown in, but if they're sponsored for citizenship, or they're being caretaken because they are underage, for example, they are not illegal at that point. There is a legal process by which you may have crossed, but your asylum claim was seen as valid, and then you get moved to a place where you get to wait until you have a full hearing. So you are technically, while a migrant, legal at this point. Once the government says, yeah, we're going to fly you from here to here, you are now here legally. You are under their care. So these are legal migrants currently. Whether they get to stay is a part of a legal proceeding. But it sort of falls in that innocent until proven guilty zone, which these fuckers don't care about.
I used to pick up basketball team that had more security. 100%.
Well, yeah, that's because none of these people are going to run because they want to stay. Where the fuck do you think they're going to go, dummy? They're in the pipeline. Also, we'll get to some of the details.
And very easily.
They could go this way. I mean, I know it's my job to watch, but I mean, I don't give a fuck.
Few people could just go that way.
None of them are. Weird. Why don't you go, they could just run that way. But curiously, they're following the rules.
So I'm here to see where they're coming Oh yeah. I mean, it's slowly coming together, but we also don't know, really what's happening.
Oh, all right. How they're getting here, whatever else. We don't know what's happening, how they're getting here, whatever else. We don't know any of the fucking details. But here's a bunch of people getting off a plane that are vaguely brown. So clearly.
Here, whatever else.
I mean, why are you not? Oh, by the way, they have an edit there. Why aren't you just stopping the video right at? We don't really know what the fuck is going on. But I would like to say for the record that I believe.
I get the whole secrecy and all this shit, but this is even about my secret.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like odd that this is where in New York that when you take a flight, when a flight leaves the Arizona, for example, and flies east, you lose some time. Depending on where you are in that state, 3 hours. And so, if you would have taken a flight that in time 3 o'clock would have landed at 6, put you in at 9 o'clock in fucking winter when it's dark at 8. What time is this? 6:55. What the fuck? Is that their time on this? Time on the vest, or how much time they have left in the? This is how much recording time he has left. Doesn't say. It does not say. So, right after sundown, essentially. Yeah, that's true, Fish Delight. Time is the same everywhere. It's an illusion.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Like, fuck, look at these. I mean, people getting off of fucking, hey, you know what I mean? I'm glad we're getting to the bottom of this. This is the gotcha video, by the way.
And why? You know why?
You know what?
You know why? Because Biden's in office. I mean, come on, man. Socialists. Hey, why do you think we're going to record this and put it out even though it doesn't show any fucking thing? What are we seeing in this footage right now? What are we seeing? Are we seeing a bunch of migrants getting off like military age men going, Aloha Akbar? You know, like, that doesn't sound like Spanish. Getting onto a fucking bus and being taken, like, here's your free healthcare pack. Just fill out. You don't even have to fill it out. Just check a couple of boxes. If you need someone to check the boxes for you, we have a tax-paid official here who will fill you in. Like, what we're seeing? We're seeing a dark fucking hangar, a bus, another private jet that's somebody else's sitting over there, being either towed to and from a hangar, and then there's like 15 fucking people.
Yeah, I know, but why? Yeah.
Come on.
No, but what's the big secret? Everybody knows it's happening.
You know why?
It's not a big secret, dum-dum, other than the fact that assholes like you might get these people killed. They're invading our country. I mean, look at all Tucker every fucking night. This is on Fox Business. It's an invasion. What's the difference between Russia amassing tanks and anti-aircraft missiles and mortars on the Ukrainian border and 8-year-olds being dropped over Trump's wall at thud? What's the difference? What's the difference between a scud and a kid, honestly, in this point?
Because if it gets out, the government's...
Yes, because if this gets out, the government is betraying the American people. And by the way, it doesn't say who this fucking guy is. I don't know why we should take his opinion seriously. And what the fuck does the fact that a flight coming west to east lands after dark have to do with fucking anything? And wait till we see who's on the plane, because I've actually seen this story around a lot.
Train the American people.
Did you hear that, Congressman Mass? Did
you hear that? Just betraying? They're betraying the American people. Dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord. The betrayal. Hey, man, you guys are betraying our flag. And me and my fellow flaggots are not going to participate in this. This ain't right. The CINSA is flying in lizard people pilots with these baby-eating Democrats are flying in fresh Mexicans so they can drink their spine juice. Get on it. Come on, man. Tell them what's up.
is betraying the American people. If this is all okay, right? If this is about transparency, why these secret flights in the dead of night?
I'll tell you why, because if I knew where they lived, man, I'd go over and I'd start yelling the only Spanish I know. And I learned it from an episode of Chips that they took off the air for some reason.
Recently asked, who's in charge? What's going on here? Your reaction?
Yeah.
Because it's not okay. That's why they're saying it. We can't give Joe Biden.
I'm not okay. You're not okay. It ain't okay. Who are these people? Where are they going? Who even knows? Who's going to find out? Who can tell us? It's terrible. Come on, man. What is happening? I got to find. Hold on. I got to look up. Oh, dear God. What is this footage showing us? Oh, no. Y'all are going to have to help me out with this. Reading is not my strong suit. I'm much more of I aced semaphore at summer camp. Biden secretly flinging underage migrants into in the deed of nigget. Something like that. Anyways, y'all get it. You can see it. Y'all know what it says. What happens here? Well, I bet we're going to find out a bunch of stuff in here. I'm going to have to bring in a reader. Give me a second. I'll bring the reader back in. Hi. It's very hard for Ficus to do this. Remember what we, So it turns out on that plane, largely children. By the way, notice illegal immigrant doesn't show up here because it says underage migrants, because they are now legally under the care of us, the American people, who, by the way, these assholes suggest we should let rot in the desert, not our kids. Fuck them, pro-life. Plane loads of underage migrants are being flown secretly into suburban New York in an effort by President Biden's administration to quietly resettle them across the region, the Post has learned. Dun, dun, dun! Underage migrants. What's another word for underage migrant? No Matt Gaetz answers. I'm going to go with children. And if you're Matt Gaetz, the recently fuckable, but not for the rest of us. The charter flights originated in Texas. It depends on which part of Texas. 2 hour distance, and then they 3-4 hour flight, and then 3+ thing. And if they leave in the afternoon, after they school the kids or something like that, and they put them in the thing to transport them there, and the people have to be arranged to pick them up. They got to organize that. That would get them in after dark. Charter flights originate in Texas, where the ongoing border crisis has overwhelmed local immigration officials and have been underway since at least August, according to sources familiar with the matter. You know that whole thing where we don't want to keep kids crammed into cages? I mean, the Trump administration was like, why would we even bother to fix that? It's not, there's no, it's a feature, not a bug. Here we go. This is last week, the Post saw 2 planes land in Westchester County Airport, where most of the passengers got off appeared to be, what's that word? Children and teens, with a small portion appearing to be men in their 20s. Yeah, those are the people traveling with them from the government. Westchester County cops stood by as the passengers, the children, whose flights arrived at 10:49 Wednesday and 9:52 Friday because they left in the afternoon. Jesus. Got off and piled into buses. Piles of illegal children. Some of them were later seen up meeting with... Oh, what's this? What's this part? What's this? You fucking garbage pieces of shit, idiot, moron. I can't even start. How did they not... Oh, if the Post can even list this, these assholes can't even look that up. They are children. They have relatives in the States. They are abandoned or dropped over the wall or abandoned in the fucking desert. And we find them and we're like, I don't know, kind of a brown kid. Chuck them back over the wall, for America. And with their relatives or sponsors in New Jersey or being dropped off at a residential facility on Long Island. Residential facility being the Catholic Charities. A post-analysis of online flight tracking data suggests around 2,000 of the underage migrants. 2,000? I was promised millions. How long do we have to wait for 2,000? That's a fifth of the Arizona. We should have left them in Arizona to turn 18 quickly. Can we grow them fast? Can we put Miracle Grow on these kids so they can be Dem voters by 2024? They're fucking 9. Have arrived at the airport outside White Plains since August 8th. So since August, 2,000 children who were dropped over the border or abandoned or whatever. And these pro-life folks are like, not our problem. Dump them in Juarez. And this is the footage. This is it. Now, the interesting thing about this is they'll show you, this is the same charts they're talking about. Unaccompanied migrant kids land in Westchester dead at night surge due to dangerous illegal border crossings. The surge of 2,000 kids since August. It's fucking January. And those kids were processed a while back. So they've been in Arizona or Texas for a while. Records show some of the planes touched down between midnight and 6:30 a.m. when a voluntary curfew is in fact, it's totally a secret. To get the secret Democrat plan to get a bunch of 12-year-olds in here so we can brainwash them into voting Democrat in 2030. If their family doesn't, like the family that absorbs it, yeah, this is our grandkid, sure, they can stay. Or no, this isn't our kid, and we found their mom and they're in Guatemala, we're sending them back, which happens all the fucking time. It's what's supposed to happen. With 2 arriving from Houston, 2:13 a.m. and 4:29 a.m. Oh, dear God. Under cover of night. The clandestine nature, you mean the nighttime nature of the operation raises questions about how the White House is dealing with a recent surge in unaccompanied minors. Yeah, all 2,000 of them. There's 340 million people in this fucking country. Recent surge of 2,000 kids in, oh God. Most recent figures show that just during July and August, 37,805 unaccompanied minors were caught entering the U.S. from Mexico, sometimes after being abandoned by professional smugglers known as coyotes. And videos show some children dropped over the border wall or abandoned in remote areas. Now, therefore, what would be your solution, right-wing America? An 8-year-old dropped over the wall, but for a couple of sprained ankles and a mild concussion is okay. And now it's wandering without water in a desert, and it's too big to fit back through the slats in the slat fence. So I guess the Republican model is chuck it back over the wall, or, what do they want, a slingshot or something? Hold on one second. Right? What do you do? What do you do with those folks? Hey, man, I tell you what you do. You send them down to Florida, and that buddy, if anybody knows how to ask Nestor. Just tell him Matt sent you. No. No. It's not right. Come on. Oh, sorry. This is the wrong one. Yeah, it is. Come on. Matt Gaetz knows what to do with these kids. He'd take them in, if you know what I'm saying. No. The answer is no. Quit it. Come on, man. I'm just having a bit of fun. No. All right. Free Nestor. So, yeah. And there it is. There's a source familiar with the operation. Westchester was said the underage migrants typically arrive carrying backpacks and are bused to locations including Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, upstate Newburgh, Bridgeport, and Danbury in Connecticut. Typically, all 2,000 of them. Typically, meanwhile, every airport in the New York area has millions of people coming going. How are business people typically brought into the, say, in the millions? Right. But these 2,000 kids, clutch the pearls. Around 12:30 a.m. Saturday, it stopped at Syosset, Long Island, at the campus of Mercy First. Oh, a nonprofit sponsored by the Catholic Sisters of Mercy that provides housing and services for children and adolescents who are the victims of societal problems. One of those societal problems might be that someone from your society dropped you into ours and you cannot feed yourself. But tell me again how Party of Pro-Life, please, Party of Pro-Life, please continue.
Asked to say the question, who is in charge? He is in charge. He's the chief executive officer of the United States of America of every federal.
No, that's business CEO talk. It's dumb. He's more important than that.
Agency, to include Customs and Border Patrol and every other agency out there. The buck is supposed to stop with him. He says it does. We know, in fact, he shifts the blame off every time he can. But let's tie this one back to supply chain real quick, right? CBP, we know there's not nearly enough CBP workers in the ports and other places where there are those log jams and all those goods coming in from overseas need to be checked out. How about we take those CBP officers and instead of them moving people around the country illegally, they go to work in the ports to help solve the.
Well, because they're trained for different things. This is what this asshole is suggesting. Why don't we take the bomb sniffing dogs off the areas where the bombs come in and put them where the drugs come in? And then we'll take the drug sniffing dogs and put them where the bombs come in. What could possibly go wrong? What are we talking about? The guys who are experts in checking packages and are good at, dismantling or dealing with things that come in shipping crates, and put them out on a fucking ATV in the middle of the desert sweating their ass off. You ever ridden a horse before? Fuck no, I'm from Long Beach. Hop on, asshole.
Supply chain crisis.
Interesting.
That would be a solution.
That sounds like something Republicans are going to try to push for Congressman Sessions.
Why? It's dumb.
If you guys come back into control of Congress, I want.
No. I know everybody's likes to pearl clutch about this. Yes, there are horses in Long Beach. Not at the docks, though, I would like to say, Flank-Doodle, just for the record.
Move on to this, because this is a terrible story.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You're not going to bring up the fact that those were minor children and that the Post did a whole story about it? And you know that footage is from the same thing? That same fucking flight? Same hangar? Same everything? You know those were children. You're not going to bring that up. He's not going to bring it up. And why is he not going to bring it up? Why are these assholes not going to bring up that those flights had children on them? Because they would have to answer, what the fuck do you do with the children? What do you do with them? You don't want them here. You don't want them sent to NGOs like the Catholic Sisters of Mercy or to sponsors or to their family members. You don't want them sent. You find out who they are. You get them connected. They go through the whole fucking process. They send them to their family. You don't want that done? What do you want done? Tell us. Because what it is leave them in the desert. That's what they'd have to come to. Not our problem. It's NIMBY about child deaths. I don't care, is what they would have to say. So they're not going to go. They can't even address the reality of the flights. If you have a problem with migrant children being flown in, sponsored by the Catholic charities, sponsored by family members, sponsored by NGOs, and processed and either stay here with relatives, get adopted because nobody knows where the fuck they're from, Or they go, oh yeah, we found your mom and she's still in Guatemala, or your parents are there. We're going to put you on a flight, because we do those all the time too. They're not tracking those flights though. They're not tracking the flights that fly people back to Haiti, fly people back to Guatemala and Honduras and all that. They're not even bothering with that. Those flights go out all the time too. You think they're out there with a body cam for those? No. Yes, you're right, Jacqueline. They do not care. And she is protecting them by keeping them from having to answer that question. That's it. And if you're against these kids coming in and going through this process, explain yourself. It's okay. I mean, you're awful, and I obviously think you're morally bankrupt as a human being, but you can make that argument. You can go, we don't have enough. They got too much. Send them back to wherever. It's the Mexican government's problem, even though they speak Portuguese or something.
Coming out of Houston, 3 more cops shot in a gunfight. Got information coming into the studio that the suspect who is on the run, he had a full-on automatic weapon. Immigration officials...
Well, yeah. He had a full-on automatic weapon, for America.
Confirming the man accused of shooting to death the deputy constable in Harris County outside Houston, he was an illegal immigrant. We've got former President Trump. He's going to a rally outside Houston this weekend. The questions are growing. Is he going to...
By the way, outside Houston, because he can't get a venue in Houston because he keeps stiffing all the contractors everywhere he goes. He doesn't pay the venue fees. He doesn't pay security. He doesn't pay the city. And so they won't let him do it. So he's fucking on this barnyard tour.
Let's listen to former President Trump. Watch this.
First on G, 45th president of...
How much of this footage are we going to watch? What's happening? You're cutting to this? What is happening? Honestly.
States.
45th and 47th.
47th. Yes.
I love that.
Mr.
45th and...
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's that easy. No.
7th, your reaction?
Well, the reaction's really quite natural, and that is that Mr. Trump is doing a lot of things right now to counterbalance not just what Mr. Biden is saying, but speaking about things that were previously handled and handled well.
Oh, you mean like Operation Warp Speed? Sorry.
Captain's log.
Sorry.
Captain's log.
There you go.
Line is this year we're going to win back the House of Representatives. And I think when the Senate, winning back Congress, will hold the president accountable. We will ask the questions. We will get the answers that we need. But this president and
to ask one of the questions. Questions like supply chain. You mean shit that's been going on for 20 years and we're reshoring most of our manufacturing of crucial items. We'll still buy cheap stuff from overseas, but most of the stuff we need for telecommunications, computers, DoD stuff, and personal electronics will largely be made in the United States. And then if there's any assembly, it'll be done largely in Mexico because they have the youngest demographic in the North American territories. Something like that.
The House and the Senate, Speaker Pelosi, are trying to move this country as far left as they can.
Dude, you already said that part. You don't even know what it means.
When the American people disagree with them.
Yeah, and Congressman Mast, if you question them on that, you're called a racist, right? Or you're called a white supremacist.
Question them on what? Trump running and calling them a socialist? The fuck? Oh my God, how dare you ask me about monetary policy, racist? What? About which part? I don't even know what the fuck the dude said.
Americans more and more are seeing what's going on with crime in U.S. cities, right? We've got 22 cities, 44% rise in homicides since 2019. New York City, cops visibly stricken with grief on camera at a vigil and a wake for 2 cops shot dead, Jason Rivera and Wilbert Mora. The president is going to meet with the New York Democrat mayor next week. We've got new data coming in. 4 out of 10 criminals freed without bail under the Democrats' bail reform were rearrested.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Democrats' bail reform? I'm sorry, was there a bill that went through the House or the Senate? Was there a bill that went through the legislature on bail reform? Or is this the choice of most localized DAs that were elected in those areas? Because I don't know if you noticed, but Biden won the election, not the people who were running on defund the police and all that stuff. You do recognize it. Kamala Harris is his VP. But, I mean, honestly, in the beginning of that whole primary setup where it looked like they were going to be where I said they were going to be the ticket and I was right. Trump was planning on running against Biden because of the crime bill and Kamala being too tough on crime for lefties. And they were going to try to make the base hate them. And it didn't work.
Committing more crimes. Nearly 1 out of 4 were rearrested on dangerous felony charges. Your response to that?
Yeah, these are the progressive windsock policies that Joe Biden is following. Let's defund.
No, he isn't. And they're going to throw up defund the police. Biden's against it. Have you seen Cory Booker's statement about the Senate bill? Good Lord.
Police, let's bring an end to bail. Let's go out there and say anytime that a law enforcement officer responds to an issue, the number one thing that we're going to jump to is, was that a racist action, instead of, was somebody committing a crime and was the officer doing what he was hired by the city, by the municipality,
or she,
whatever to do. Go out there and protect the people that aren't breaking the law.
Thank you, Congressman Pete Sessions and
thank you for that straw man, is what she's saying.
Congressman Mass, it's good to have you both on.
Yeah, it's nice to have you on to talk about this so you can present the idea that Democrats don't care about cops, falsely, while you guys don't give a rat's ass about children abandoned in the desert while running on a pro-life ticket. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week.